Drogba indirdi ceza. Snyder. Snyder gol! Allah'ım gol! Muslera. Fernando Muslera. Golün adı Muslera. Zaniolo. Drogba. This is incredible.
Hello. What's up? How's it going? Welcome to the Lion's Den, a Galatasaray podcast done by the community for the community. Today is episode 53, and I'm joined by my boys, John, Saleh, and Maz. We're going to be talking about some stuff today, a lot of stuff today. Hopefully, you guys are in a better mood after yesterday.
Ya böyle bir şey olabilir mi ya?
You took it right out of my mouth.
And I'm going to start off with Maz. Maz, how are you feeling today?
Yeah, I feel great. I want to start off by saying I had a summit moment. I had a dream last night, guys. Believe it or not, I had a dream. And in the dream, I saw that Fener drew 3-3. I woke up at 5 a.m. because I'm in Australia, so all the games get played at night. I woke up at 5 a.m. I checked the scores, and it was 3-3. So call it superstition, call it divine intervention, call it whatever you want. But I saw it in my dream, bro. And I am so happy. I am so insanely happy right now. You don't understand.
You know, it's crazy because I think you and John have some kind of wavelength together, because John, actually, while he's in, North America time, he actually called that game would end in a draw. John, what did you feel in that moment that gave you that thought process that they were gonna draw, and you even called out the time?
Listen, I'm no mystic Maz, all right? But
You Nostradamus.
Thank you for this compliment.
I've seen enough football in this country to know what's gonna happen, and literally this always happens. Like whenever there's a close title race, if one team loses or drops points, everyone expects the other team in the race the next game to, come through, and they always flop. They always drop the ball. And Fener being Fener, come on, man, I saw that one coming.
I'm a mile away.
Dude, usually every single Fener game that I watch, these guys were coming back last minute, and I would just always be like demotivated afterwards. And today I was like, you know what? I'm not watching this game. Screw this. They're probably going to win. Istanbul has like 5 players missing. I'm not in a good mood after yesterday's loss of points, but I don't watch the game and they lose points. I'm over the moon. Never watching another Fenerbahce game again. Saad, what did you do today that shifted the stars for Fenerbahce to lose points? We all seemingly did something. What happened with you?
Before I talk about myself, I want to turn it back to you. Well, I'm starting to see a pattern here. So if you don't give a score, we seem to usually do pretty alright, win. If you don't watch a Fener game, they apparently also start to choke. Maybe you should, stop watching football altogether, and we'll, get the championship in, Apparently when you have your eyes on the game, bad shit starts to happen.
I'll tell you something else. I started watching the Arsenal game when you guys were down 3-1, and you guys came back 3-3. So does this mean I should be watching Arsenal games from now on too?
Perhaps, but let's not talk about that game. That was a horrible game, unfortunately. But to move on, what did I do to move the stars today? Let me actually really think about it. I actually, for once, I also didn't watch the Fener game. I didn't even follow the score, what I normally actually do, like on my PC or mobile. I was just like, you know what, fuck it, they'll probably come back anyway. And when I saw that it was 3-3, 90 plus 6, if I recall correctly, I was like, I mean, not only me, I think John tried to pull all the divine powers that he had by calling towards God to please let it just end this way. Even though the game went to 90 plus 10, I think, or even longer. It's just, the end and draw, and that's about it, man.
Today, Fener Atana Kadar didn't work, unfortunately for them. Fortunately for us.
Yeah, also for us, but yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you never know what happens. This is football, man, at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of never knowing what happens, I guess we can start going into some of the news that happened recently. And something that's really shocked me to my core was the Gomis incident. So for those that do not know, Gomis apparently did not want to play for the remaining games. So this is what Okan Buruk came out and said after his press conference yesterday. Bafetimbi Gomis did not want to play for the rest of the season because we substituted Barış Alper in the Alanyaspor game. So I like when we first heard this news, I'm like, this is kind of bullshit. This is probably not real, because at first this was like random, news sources saying this, but then when Okan Buruk came out and said this himself, I could not believe that this was actually a real thing. Like, how can this happen? And Gomis, after the match, comes out and says that he had heard a lot of claims on his behalf, and he said he was quite surprised. He says, I can't be responsible for tonight's results because I wasn't on the pitch. As in many matches where the team won and did very well without me, I've had a bad back, and that's the reality. Well, I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? I think he's kind of bullshitting. But before you say anything, actually, let me finish. We did apparently say that, what happened was, I think Gomis had apologized to Dursun Özbek and Okan Buruk, and I think all is forgiven now. So that just to top it off, that's the whole situation right now. But go ahead, Maz.
Look, I'm glad he apologized and it's all good now. That's what should have happened anyway. But I actually didn't like his response, should I say, to Okan Buruk, because the way he's talking it's almost insinuating that he's saying that the club is lying. Because Okan Buruk saying he didn't want to play because Barış Alper Yilmaz got subbed in, and then he's saying nah, I just had a bad back. This is, what did he call it? Did he call it locker room talk? Something, or I don't want to put words in his mouth, but that's some stuff that's some words that were flying around. It's a very bold move to speak like that in the first place, because that's your coach, that's your president directly, and
especially why would Okan Buruk even lie on this question, right? Like, what benefit does he get from telling the world that, the ones who watch, basically, that Gomis doesn't.
I'll tell you what.
Why would he
Chaos
lie about
Saray.
it?
Because we need Chaos Saray. Galatasaray, I can't remember one season where we were champions and there wasn't any sort of chaos in our club. One season. John, do you know of any? Because I can't remember any.
There's always some point where, all hell breaks loose. That's a given. That's going to come sooner or later. But like Salih just said, the coach has no reason to lie about something like this. Like, it doesn't make any sense. The coach is not the person that's going to start, turmoil within the team for no reason, right? Like, I would say the truth of the situation regardless, just being because, obviously with however many games we have left, the fans noticing Gomis not even in the squad, never mind on the bench, but not in the squad, that's going to raise some questions. So I think it's better to just get it out of the way now. People will talk about it for a day or two and then it'll be over, especially at this point of the season. There's bigger things to talk about, but I don't know what to say about Gomis, man. I kind of didn't expect this from him, especially at the, in the situation that we're in this close title race, but I don't know, man. I don't know who he thinks he is, but I don't want to.
He's a mercenary, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to see him play anymore. There's no need for it, honestly, in my opinion.
So you basically just say, oh, sorry, I cut you off there.
No, I was just going to say, Gomis saved us quite a lot in the beginning of the season. I can't really say he hasn't been useful at all and that he can't be useful from this point on. But his actions, like, John said, I don't think I want to see him do what he did now and still be a part of this team, because I don't know what he's saying or doing in the locker room at this point to, maybe he's drawing down the confidence of the other players. But yeah, Salih, what were you going to say?
I was just going to echo more so that, like, who does he think he is, right? I mean, he's a 30-year-old player, and it's obvious that he won't always start or always will be subbed in. Like, he hit a certain age that, at times other players might be more useful. Like Barış, he just brings more pace to the game, basically. And the way he conducted himself, just like you guys mentioned, I really, first of all, didn't expect it, because we mostly say that he's a role model and he's, he takes sort of like a mentor type role sometimes with the other players. And then it came out this way is really like shameful. Would I not want to see him play at all? That I don't know. I mean, if he can, again, get us some points, like, I wouldn't mind at all. But, yeah, this behavior is really unacceptable.
Dude, if you... Go ahead.
No, I just want to say the situation itself is just very weird because, first of all, this has been said. Then, Gomis denies it, and just like Maz said, like, insinuating that the club is lying. And then a day after, it's all good. Apparently, he just apologized, and, well, it's like nothing happened. That's how it's
Yeah, I don't know if the
portrayed.
fans are going to accept it. I don't know how he's going to go out to that field. And the funny thing is, yesterday's game against Fatih Karagümrük was the perfect opportunity for him, in fact, when Icardi was injured. And we saw how he was not fit to play Icardi. He did not seem like himself. And that was the perfect opportunity that he missed, that he could have been a part of to actually make a difference in that game. And look what happened. So he shot himself in the foot, basically.
He did.
Yeah. I don't know. Maz, would you want to see him play for us after that?
Look, he's still a Galatasaray player at the end of it, right? So it wouldn't be I don't want to say it wouldn't be fair to write him off, but we're still paying this guy a wage, so he might as well play. Maybe scoring a couple more. How much does he have this season? He's got quite a bit this season, I think, from the start of the season. And the other thing is as well, I don't want to add fuel to the fire, but it's not the first time he's doing something like this. In his last stint, he also had issues with his wage. He asked for an astronomical amount. So it's kind of clear this guy's slightly toxic, only kind of thinks about himself kind of person. Look, which is fine. Everyone has their own different personality and their different quirks, but this is Galatasaray. You can't walk around like a kabadaya, demanding things, saying, I'm not going to play until the end of the season. I have a bad back.
Yeah.
The club is saying this, it's wrong. It's not.
The problem that I have more with this is, look, just like you said before, it's normal that, you ask for more money or whatever. In the end, if you don't think about yourself, no one else will, right? It's just the timing. Why would you do it right now when you have like X amount of games, like how many games left, basically, and we're in a title race, fighting with Fener over this title, which is pretty, I would say still pretty neck and neck. It's just the timing that is just so off-putting that I really didn't like from him. Like if it was at the end of the season and we had the championship already, then I would be like, okay, I don't care as much. But right now it's like, should have waited with this, if I'm really honest.
Yeah, dude.
Help a lot.
Like, I get it. Like, everyone wants to be a part of this team. They want to be the legend, the guy that, is remembered the most. You look at Icardi, he's loved by everyone. Even despite his mishap yesterday, people still love him. They're all going and coloring their hair blonde. Remember when Gomis first came to us and he was killing it? Everyone was doing the Gomis celebration, the line celebration. Mm-hmm. I think that like he wants to be remembered like that. I think he wants to be a big role in this. Hopefully, what is going to be a championship for us. I think he wants to be remembered as much as Icardi, and you can tell like when he plays, he goes in, he's doing things that'll benefit him, but not the team. If that makes sense. You see the same with Barış, and you see the same with Zaniolo. But the thing is, those other two I can understand. They're younger, but you're Gomis, bro. You have been that clutch factor. Right now, you're not acting as the clutch factor. Mm-hmm. You're the anti-clutch.
It's just funny because I expected this behavior from Icardi, if anything, because this is the type of person we were told Icardi is before he came to Galatasaray, and he's been fine. He's been doing everything for the club so far, and this personal life aside, that doesn't concern us in any way. But we're seeing this behavior from Gomis.
Yeah, it's a shame, honestly. But anyway, I think if no one else has anything to add to that, we can move on to the game. Fatih Karagümrük ended on a 3-3 tie. Coach John,
CC,
you want to take us to the game?
Let's do it. So this was round 31 of the Super League. We were at home to Fatih Karagümrük. Like you mentioned, this one ended 3-3, unfortunately, dropping points at home. We'll go into the starting 11 and some stats. So starting 11 was almost unchanged. We had Muslera in goal, of course, Sasha Boey, Victor Nelson, Abdul Kerim, Adekube, Lucas Torreira, Sergio Oliveira, Mertens, Kerem, Rashica, and Zaniolo starting up top in place of Icardi, who was coming off a slight injury. We'll go into some stats. Unfortunately, we had a heartbreaking XG of 4.04. Fatih Karagümrük had 1.31 for their XG. We had 65% ball possession, 35% for Fatih Karagümrük, 9 shots on goal for us, 3 for them. And like I mentioned, a tragic 3-3 draw. We'll go through the key events of the match. We opened scoring in the 3rd minute. Kerem scored from a beautiful assist by Sacha Boey, which I'm sure we'll get into. And then in the 18th minute, we saw Jagne score a goal that I've never seen him score in my entire life. I'm gonna talk about that.
Same. I can't believe it, bro.
Yeah, that was just
only against us.
I just couldn't believe it. Anyways, 10 minutes later, we had Borini score to make it 2-1, and then Borini scored a few minutes after that to make it 3-1. Sorry, I'm going to repeat that. Something was going off in the background. We'll have to edit that. 10 minutes later, we had Fabio Borini make it 2-1. And then a few minutes after that, Borini again made it 3-1. And then we fortunately won a penalty right before halftime. Sergio Oliveira took the penalty. Usually, obviously, we have Icardi taking penalties, but he wasn't in the match, which I guess we'll bring that up later. But Sergio buried the penalty to make it 3-2 going into halftime. And then we had Sacha Boey tie the game 3-3 in the 80th minute. And by the way, Icardi missing a penalty in the 67th minute. But those are pretty much the key moments of the match. If I can just sort of start unpacking it, you know, I think everyone thought after that first goal that we were, you know, we meant business. You know, we scored 10 goals combined in the last 2 games before. I thought it was going to be the same story. I thought we were going to put like 5 or 6 past them. And then it was just a string of just, I don't know, we were just unlucky for the rest of the half. Like I mentioned, we can start with Jagne. Jagne scores a goal that I never seen him score in my entire life. They play the ball in behind Nelson. Jagne runs onto the ball on his weak foot and, you know, beautiful finish. Couldn't believe it. I thought for sure he was sending it wide or over the net or something. We had Borini score, you know, off a mistake that the ref made. He didn't give us a clear corner a minute before that, which led to Borini scoring. And then we had, and by the way, Muslera had a pretty bad giveaway as well. And then the third goal they scored was unlucky. They had a shot from outside the box that sort of dipped, hit the post, bounced off Muslera, and they had like an open net tap in. So I couldn't believe how unlucky that was. But, you know, I thought we were going to be a little demoralized after that, but we were able to sort of to bring it back. But what do you guys think of that first half and those just wild string of events?
I'll start off by saying I don't think we played a bad game actually, especially in the first half. We were getting pressed pretty heavily. It was pretty easy to see that, but we were getting out of the presses quite easily and making goal scoring opportunities out of those. A lot of them didn't happen. As we saw, we had, I think, 20 something shots. We had a string of bad luck with those second and third goal. First goal, there's not a lot we could have done. It was a beautiful finish, like you said, by Jagne. The second one, yeah, sure, we didn't get the corner. But having said that, Muslera, he's making the same mistakes. I think I can count maybe 5 or 6 off the top of my head. 5 or 6 goals like that off the top of my head that we've copped because of Muslera's same mistake. His distribution, under pressure, he just cracks. I actually realized I missed the first goal that we scored. First goal, a lot of people are talking about Sacha Boey, and it was a beautiful assist. He's doing what he does. But before that, Rashica had the ball and slipped up behind 2 of the defenders straight onto Bowie's feet. No one's talking about this. I just want to talk about it. Even though Rashica didn't have a great first half, he kind of in the second half he picked up a bit more. I actually think Rashica played pretty bad in the first half. But that first goal, that was all Rashica. He got a through ball I think was from Mertens, and then
Mertens, yeah.
he dribbled, held the ball, turned and slipped it. It was just class. It was pure class. Well, what do you guys think?
Oh, we started at the same time.
Go ahead.
Nah, I'll just say that I don't think it was necessarily that, just like you guys said, that we played bad. Just a few things that I just noticed is that Fatih Karagümrük, just like we expected, they were kind of like up for it. And the way we built up, that's something I wasn't too much of a fan of in the first half. I felt like anytime like Torreira or Oliver in the middle had the ball, there was like no one else directly to really lay it off to or pass to. We went pretty long quite often. And yes, it did work from time to time. I was expecting just a bit more in the first half. And the goals that we conceded, I mean, do I really need to talk about them? I think all three have like something special to them. Like none of them were really, we were never really outplayed by them, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is just a ball that kind of bounces funnily towards, I think Bertolacci it was, and who gave a beautiful assist to Cagne.
Yeah.
And like John said before, like the Galatasaray Cagne or Kasımpaşa Cagne wouldn't finish that, but this new one, I don't know what happened. Maybe he's just
The Italian connection between him and Pirlo.
maybe it's that he's just aging like fine wine. He suddenly scores that one in, of course. Also, like mentioned before, the second one is, I mean, okay, like the corner not being given, I can understand it, but at the same time, like sometimes a ref can have that wrong. I think this one is just more so on Muslera just under-hitting it, basically, and giving an easy ball to Fatih Karagümrük. But the third one, like, it was either an own goal or, well, this happened because it did hit Boey's head and he almost netted it in our own goal. I think that's the most unlucky one, to be honest, of the three. There's like little you could do about it. It's a very bullshit type goal, but it's not much to do about it.
It seems like if we're going to concede, this team, this is the only goals that we'll concede. Like,
yeah. I was just gonna say, like, they didn't really score from much organized play. Like the first goal, he literally just played a ball in behind and Cagne was able to finish it. But there was no like build up. There was no they didn't. I can't really say that they truly broke us down. You know, like especially the second and third goals, which were just totally fluky goals and mistakes and whatnot. So I think. I don't even think that we necessarily played a bad game defensively. It was just that these little one-off moments, they were making us pay. And, it's not a bad thing. Like you look at the score sheet and you see we conceded 3. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like these, mid-table teams are breaking us down. It was just sort of these one-off moments, which I think is a sort of positive to take from it, right?
Yeah, you see, when you say breakdown, sorry, there's only one game that I can think of. One game that we were broken down and outplayed throughout the game, and that was the Kayseri game in the first half of the season. There was no other game that I felt that we were broken down in terms of tactics, where we were just outplayed in every direction, every facet. And this even goes to say, like, Karagümrük, after they went up through those, unfortunate goals, they didn't come to our goal very often. They didn't bring anything more than just, counterattacks to the table. They sat back a lot. And it goes to show you that I'm looking at the ratings right now. Muslera has the lowest score for us. And for the other team, one of the highest scores is their goalie, Batuhan Shen, right? Why? Because he made 6 saves despite conceding 3 goals. That goes to show you that, yes, this team might concede 3 goals. And by the way, this is the first time we conceded 3 goals in the season. Unfortunate, but it happens. It's bound to happen. This team is giving me a lot of confidence. Like, I know my team is going to score, even if I'm down 2. Dude, it's not easy to come back when you're 3-1 down. It really is not.
No,
and to put pressure on the other team, especially when the other team is known to be able to score more goals than that the average team in the Super League does, especially when they're up 3-1, right? But we didn't break down, and that's so positive to see, bro. That's one of the positive takeaways. But a negative takeaway. Okay, go ahead. What? What's up?
And another context, maybe I'm already moving ahead, but the thing is as well that, yes, they scored 3, but if you, for example, maybe didn't have Zaniolo up front,
That's what I was going to get into.
Exactly. And just have a fit Icardi or Gomis in that case, if he, wasn't being a bitch, basically.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say Zaniolo was probably our weakest point today. Not today, sorry. In the Karagümrük game, which was yesterday. If Gomis was available, if he didn't complain and, do what he did, he would probably have been playing. Even though last time we talked, me and I believe Yasin we said that Zaniolo would play. And we were right, but we didn't think it was because of this. But I think Okan Hoca would have probably played Gomis.
I think that's what he said too. I think the whole reason why this came up is because someone asked him about Gomis, and I think he said that like they were discussing it, and then Gomis said, "No, I'm not playing for the rest of the season," right? So I think that's what happened. Which is, we already said what we need to say about that. But
like, this is your perfect opportunity, man.
Yeah.
Perfect opportunity. And you're going to do what you did.
Yeah.
What a shameful way to end your career if, if we happen to lose the championship, because maybe this game might be the reason. You never know, right?
Mm-hmm.
You never know. But then you're going to look back at this and just realize how stupid it was what you did.
Yeah. And
at the end of the day,
guys, we have to remember as well, the players know not everyone can be a starter. We have to put 11 players on the pitch, right? So the players that know they're probably not going to start majority of the games, like Mata, Gomis, like these, whoever, right? They have to understand what their role is in the team. And when the time comes where we call your name, you have to step up. Like, you're a professional. This is what you do. This is what you're paid to do. This is what you apparently love to do. Right? And I don't know if Gomis is just not wanting to play that role anymore, but if he doesn't, that's too bad for him, because he's a 40-year-old man now. So, he's not going to play at this level consistently all the time. But anyways, we already spoke about Gomis, but if I can sort of change gears for a second, I wanted to bring up Boey and his goal and assist. We spoke about the assist already, but he scored as well. And he was our highest rated player. He had a rating of 8.3. And I think, we all know this guy is destined to play for a huge club. I think he has the potential to go really far in his career. But what a performance he put in, man. What a performance. I'm so happy for the kid. I've been waiting forever for him to score. And he's just such a benefit to this team. He's such a credit to the team. He's such a huge role player as well. And we were discussing last week, when he's gone, if, we would use Dubois or bring another transfer in. And I don't know, man. I don't know if we can ever.
I'm dreading that day.
I don't know if we can replace this kid, man. This kid is something else. He's electric. He's so good.
To think we were about to send him for basically peanuts in the beginning of the season. And now look at his current state.
Yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned the assist, bro. When that happened, when he got, dude, I swear to God, I thought he was going to do what he usually does and lob it over the defense and it going out again.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad he finally just squares it to Kerem. And we also have to open a quick parentheses for Kerem, man. This kid, every game, he's either an assist or a goal.
He's showing up, man. He is.
Yep.
And then, he might have not played the best game this game, but he still manages to be an asset for the team. What they say, nada nereye. In the beginning of the season, this kid was being, again, shit on. His morale was at the lowest point of his life, probably, coming off a crazy season where everything was on top of him.
Yeah.
I have
and
to, look where he's now.
I have to say, really, I'm sure everyone would agree. He has matured as a player so much this season. We were seeing it, towards the end of last season. He was really coming along as a player, but this year, man, he had a really rocky start, and he's always managing to figure it out. He'll go through rough patches of poor form, and he finds a way. He always finds a way. He'll be dropped from the starting 11. He'll come back. He'll score. He'll assist. Now he's breaking out as a player. He's scoring free kicks. He's assisting.
Exactly.
Like, it's just the evolution's incredible, man.
Bro, if his name was Ketamino or something, people would
forget it.
appreciate him more.
Forget it, man. That's 100 mil, bro.
Kie 7. Oof, on the left wing.
Another thing that I think a lot of people were talking about and a lot of people want to hear us talk about is Zaniolo and, you know, how he played, how we expected him to play, and what we think about him just in that position entirely, playing in that, you know, striker / sort of, you know, just the big man up top. And I said last week, I don't see him as that type of player. I said I didn't think it would work, and I don't think it worked. But what do you guys think, Maz? What do you think of the big man?
Zaniolo, I don't want to blame him too much because how many games has he probably played as a striker anyway? And filling the boots of Mauro Icardi is not an easy feat. So I don't want to berate him too much. But having brought the topic of the striker, I think Icardi maybe should have started maybe the first 20, 30 minutes. How many of the minutes he was fit for? Just let me finish because it sounds pretty dumb when I say it. But
I don't want to say it's dumb, but I was like, wait, start? And not usually it's the other way around, right?
Wait, let me finish and I'll see if you guys agree with me. Icardi's presence alone completely changes the way our opponents play against us. So in the first half especially, we saw a lot of Fatih Karagümrük pressing in our half. They were pressing us a lot. They were playing a lot of high press. You can't do that when you have Icardi behind you because the midfielders are going to be thinking, there's Icardi right behind me. If the ball goes behind us and into his feet, it's a goal. Or he's going to assist. He's going to create he's going to do something. But with Zaniolo, they're thinking, it's Zaniolo. We'll be able to handle him. It's not a position that he's used to. He's got a lot of pressure on top of him. So for that reason, I do think that maybe we should have started with Icardi, use him for 30 minutes, whatever, take him off, sub on Zaniolo or Gomis, which anyway, I don't want to talk about Gomis. That's what I have to say about that. But Zaniolo tried. He got the ball, tried to turn, shoot. A lot of it didn't work out. He gave up the ball a lot. But I don't want to dwell on it too much. He was completely out of position. It's going to be unfair to crap on him.
Just the role he has to play, like with the back to the goal, it just didn't fit him. He just couldn't, he couldn't really deal with it.
He's not really that type of player.
Exactly. You can definitely see that he's more of, a winger type player, that he uses his pace, some of his trickery. But in the middle, when you're being marked by like two defenders, that's too much for him. He did get the chances. I think he got like 2-3 good chances actually, but unfortunately wasn't able to net it in. And speaking of those chances, I think one of which, the Galatasaray players were actually, shouting for a potential penalty. I don't know if you guys remember.
Yep.
Batuan Shen, he touched the ball, but what do you guys think on that? Should have that been a penalty or not?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yes.
I'm gonna say this. Yep. For me, this is 1000% a penalty. If you go back and you watch it slowly, before the keeper ever touches the ball, because the main argument here is, well, the player just hit the ball and then whatever happens after that happens, right? But if you watch it back and you play it slowly, before the keeper even touches the ball, Zaniolo's right foot is trapped underneath the keeper. He takes out Zaniolo's right foot. As the keeper touches the ball, Zaniolo's already falling from that. So regardless, if he touched the ball or not, he stopped the player from scoring clearly. This is a clear goal scoring chance, and he stopped the player from scoring. So I don't see how it can't be a penalty. And I was shocked that wasn't given. That's another, tragic moment in this match, because I think that could have really changed things, but wasn't given, man. Couldn't believe it.
It is tragic, but I don't think this is one of those games where we can complain about the ref too much. Okay, it's a penalty. It's a penalty, but there's also a lot of things that we could look at ourselves first. If we're gonna blame this game on the ref as well, I think we need to take a look at ourselves. Honestly.
Nah, I don't think anyone's blaming the ref this time around. No shot. When you get two penalties, I don't think you have the luxury.
Exactly.
I know it's like if they're penalties, well, you still got to give them. Even if there's 3 or 4 penalties in the game, you should still give them. But most of the things that happen, it's all our own fault. There's nothing like really controversial throughout the whole game. And like regarding the Zaniolo thing, dude, the problem with Zaniolo is he's still young, bro. This kid came here to prove himself. And what is he trying to do?
I mean,
prove himself. Yeah, and he has way too much pressure on him. He's passing when he should be shooting. He's shooting when he should be passing. These are the like things that young people that don't have like experience do. That's why Icardi is Icardi, man. We'll talk about the thing that he did, which was kind of stupid, and even admitted himself afterwards. But we couldn't. We it's kind of dumb to expect Zaniolo to do anything this game. It really is. I don't know. I thought that he would do fine, and he did actually get the positions to do fine. But that last like decision that he made constantly screwed himself over.
Which is too bad. No, I feel the same. Like, give the guy some slack. It's first time, like, for us starting in the striker position. That's a huge position to fill.
Yeah, I can't blame him. And then the Okan Hoxha really didn't have much other choice because I think we should go into Icardi a little bit. When he came in, he kind of looked like he really wasn't in form. Like, he was, like, very off today. I mean, yes, I keep saying today. He was very off. The touches... The shots, the penalty. I don't know why. Kari, what are you doing, bro? What kind of panenka is that, man? Who does a panenka to the right side, bro? Can someone please explain that to me?
And also, when you're 2-3 down still at that point, like we need a goal.
Yeah, bro.
There's no need for showboating at that point.
Yeah.
There was also another position, bro. We were like 4-on-3, and he's trying to dribble past the defender, and then we completely screwed up a really like scoring position. Straight up like that.
That was a bit late in the game, but yeah, true.
Yeah, that Panenka was terrible. That's something you do on FIFA when you're up 4-0, 5-0. It's not something you do when you're down 2-3 at your own half. Especially a Panenka like that. He did a Panenka to the right. If you're gonna do a Panenka, do straight through the middle.
That's what Panenkas are for.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Look, if he took a normal penalty and missed, I'd say, look, it's fine. Even though he's missed 3 now out of 7, and I don't think he should take a penalty again for the rest of the season. Like, give it to Kerem, give it to Sergio, don't give it to Icardi.
I mean, Sergio just scored one like 20 minutes ago. Why not let him take it again?
He did. That's exactly right. He scored 1. And the thing is as well, before we got Sergio, when he was in Porto, he was the set piece specialist. He was doing everything. And I don't know why he's not being trusted more. But having said that...
Did you see his first penalty, though? It was not a good penalty, to be honest with you.
Sergio's?
Yeah, it was not a good penalty.
Bad. It wasn't the best penalty.
But if he chose the right corner, it would be savable, honestly.
It would have been laughable. Like, people would have said, what kind of penalty is that if Batuan picked the right side?
Yeah, but these are ifs and buts and what ifs.
But then the question...
It didn't happen. Is it worse than Icardi's penalty?
No, of course, that's. I mean, it's not worse. But
I mean, if he picked the wrong side, we would have said, "Oh, look, Icardi, what kind of balls does he have to do a Panenka to the right side?" If he actually scored that. You see what I'm saying? Both are bad in my book.
Yeah, you're right in that perspective, but I just don't like the Panenka. It rubs me the wrong way. But it's Mauro Icardi. I guess it's a package deal. You get that.
I mean, I would rather Rashica or Mertens take the pen, or even Kerem.
Like,
give it to Kerem.
Was it an order by like Okan Buruk that Icardi is just a set penalty taker? Because at that point into the game, he only had 1 touch. Like, the penalty is basically second touch in the game. And mind you, throughout the entire game, he only had 5 touches with the ball. So just like Emre said before, like, he wasn't really in the game. But to take a penalty when you're that cold and you just touch the ball only like once, that's just... I don't know if that's on Okan or on the player just wanted to take himself. I think it might be actually on Icardi because we're playing at home. If he scores that one, we'll have the song playing again. The whole stadium will be lit up, but that's just not a smart decision. I also don't know why it wasn't Sergio or someone else. Kerem, I'm not sure about, but yeah, go ahead, Emre.
I was going to say, what's also... What didn't also help, that it took them 5 minutes to give the penalty, and he's over there just waiting, kind of like, drove the hype down,
True.
adrenaline down.
Mhm.
Maybe that also affected Icardi.
Also,
I
the
don't know, what
first
did you guys
penalty.
think of the penalty?
Yeah.
You guys thought the penalty was a pen on Rashica?
I'm
Yes.
I'm gonna be completely not biased and say it's questionable. It's questionable for sure. If the other loser club was to get that penalty, we would have called bullshit. I think. I don't think it's a clear cut penalty.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those ones that depends on the ref kind of pen. But having said that, there's a lot of pens that the refs haven't given us, so I'll take it. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, shouldn't have been a pen. Well, I'll take that any day of the week after
Now, I think
everything that's
this
happened
one,
this season.
normally I'm penalty negative or like critical of pens. You know, I'm usually the guy that says
You're
like,
always in the gray zone.
Exactly.
Like, no.
Usually I'm like, nah, that's not a pen, right? But with this one, actually, I think this one is actually a pen because Rashica is basically kind of sandwiched between two players. I know that one tackles and the other one doesn't do too much, but still, I think this one is actually a penalty, and I think this one was correctly given.
It was body on body though. It was shoulder to shoulder. If you think about it.
That's still, I don't know. I think
If he didn't give this one, I wouldn't have complained as much.
Yeah,
to be honest
that's
with
exactly what I'm saying. That's like, yeah, okay. It's a bit subjective, is what I was trying to say. Yeah, we'll take it, but if he didn't give it, I don't think I would have complained about it either.
and
Like, if he didn't give the handball pen, I would have been furious.
Oh yeah, for sure.
that
for
one
sure.
before, yeah, in the first half. True. What do you think, John, on this one?
I'd
We
have
always
to,
talk about pens, so
yeah, I'd have to. There's not much more I can say. I fully agree. Like, I
But
don't
with
know.
who?
Like, well, the thing is with the Rashica one, I didn't. You know, I don't think it's like a main talking point. Like, it's one of those where like he gave the penalty and you're like, okay. Like, if he didn't give it, again, you'd kind of be saying the same thing. But like for me, it was the other one that I'm all hyped up about. The one in the first half on Zaniolo. Like for me, that was one where I was like, you know, what the hell? What's going on? But I don't know. It was whether he
Do you
gives
think
it or
it
not.
might have
you know.
been Ayam?
Do I think what?
Do you think it might have been Ayam? So in terms of like, oh, they probably saw that, oh, wow, we didn't give this penalty. Now we have to give them a penalty, you know, which is probably more 50-50 when we didn't give them that kind of penalty. It could have been that as well. Because this is how Turkish refs operate in Turkey.
they like to balance the games out, right?
Yeah, they want to balance.
Especially
They
during
want to
Saturday.
make it 50-50.
Yeah. Quite possible.
You know, actually, I forgot to touch up on the subject, but TFF came out, or was it Mehake came out, and they like said, oh, basically, we are aware that the refs have been making terrible decisions as of late, and they want to mitigate that. So they started arresting some of the refs. But this was in response to the other games. I think it was Konya and Başakşehir when they were complaining about their games, and another team I can't remember. But what do you guys think? Do you think the refs are actually going to take some responsibility from that one, or you think it's all a show?
Nah, sure.
No.
It's a
I
shit
don't
show,
expect
bro.
anything
From
to
top to
change.
bottom. Total shit show.
And okay, look, I get it that you say that you're wrong, etc. But if you don't change, like it holds no meaning, right? Like, okay, it's nice.
Well,
that you admit
they
it, but
are arresting more refs now, so they did do something instead of just saying,
I'm still
you know?
skeptical about it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still skeptical.
oh, of course,
about it.
you know.
We've seen it in the past already.
Yeah,
So-
I'll believe it when I see it, bro. I'll believe it when I see it. All these are words. These are just, it's meaningless to me. Anything they
Yeah,
say is
they did
meaningless unless they make actions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I just wanted to just point that out. I found it funny. That's when they come and say something when it's other teams complaining, but when it's us, when we're getting screwed,
Yeah, no shot.
in one ear out the other.
Do you guys
yeah.
do you guys want to get into some viewer questions? I think we have a couple of them.
Actually, I just want to say one thing before we go to the viewer questions.
Sure.
I don't know. I wonder what, or I shouldn't say I wonder. I feel like what Okan did during the halftime was say like, "Lan, we're playing at home, like play like it." Because the second half, bro, Fatih Karagümrük was completely outplayed. They had like nothing to show for in the second half. I felt like we did change quite a bit from the first half towards the second half.
You think that was by design from Pirlo's side, or was it because we were actually playing that well?
I think personally, I would say it's more from our side. I think we just stepped up a bit more, which can happen, like a small pep talk, motivational talk, and talking about what went wrong. Because again, like I said in the first half, I felt the build up from our side in the first half wasn't as strong. We usually, we do this more often than not, but we usually attack like in a 3-1-6 type way, where there are just too many plays up front. In the second half, I felt like our two DMs, like Torreira and Oliveira in this case, they were more, basically there to build up together and then move the ball forward. We were just less direct in a way.
Torreira, man, we didn't touch up on him. Dude, this guy is insane.
Salam alaikum, my friend.
He's way
Salam
too good
alaikum.
for our league. We're just way too good.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know how we managed to pull him off, but he's just way too good for our league.
Yeah, I don't know how many times.
Okay,
like,
thank you.
We have to say this. Like, it's ridiculous how good this guy is. He's just.
I think he had one bad game this whole season.
Yeah.
Just one bad game.
Yeah. I recall us, everyone agreeing he had a really off game. But aside from that, oh my lord, man! Like, I don't know. He's just incredible. This guy's amazing.
Yeah, especially in that second half, that was a masterclass. It was
Yeah.
man of the second half for me, if that was the thing.
He's everywhere, man. I saw a movie recently. What was it called again? Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
I need to watch that.
That's Torreira, bro. That is Torreira.
Man moving through all dimensions
Yeah.
to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Octopus.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, man. I didn't think that we would ever fully replace Felipe Melo. Like, we had Fernando, who was really good, but like for me, Felipe Melo is my favorite player. But like, dude, what am I gonna say? Felipe Melo is better than Torreira? How dare I say that? Like, he's just, I don't know. He's crazy, man.
Dude, and he almost had a banger, dude. He shot outside the box. Dude, if that went in, oh my God.
I got out of my chair, bro. I
Yeah.
thought it was in.
Oh my God.
I think my heart stopped in that second. Man,
It was like the dying minutes too, right? I think it was like minute
Yes.
92-93.
That would have been total
It was really
scenes.
sick.
Total
it was the
scenes.
closing minutes, which I do appreciate seeing. I know we touched on saying that we didn't give up until like the final minute. We were giving him hell. There was a few opportunities. Torreira had that almost banger. There was one where the ball, I think, was crossed in and Icardi slipped.
Yeah.
There was one where Sergio took a nice shot, but it went out of orbit into a different galaxy.
Into space.
Yeah, went into a different galaxy. Went out of the Milky Way. I just wanted. Did you guys notice that as well? There was a few plays slipping today. Was it raining in Istanbul like the day before?
I'm not sure.
I'm actually not
But
sure.
I did notice
Yeah.
Icardi in particular. That's what I'm saying. This guy was not ready, man. He's playing with an injury, basically. That's what the Hoja said. He's playing with an injury.
Maybe with post-nut clarity, I don't know. Maybe he's just not on it, Playing Honda.
What?
No testosterone left. Maybe it was just, you know what I mean, right?
He was with Wanda Yenge the whole night,
Yeah,
is what you're
exactly.
saying.
Yeah,
Yep.
probably. And talking about injured players, one player that we have that I still don't get how he was injured and recovered, bro, Abdul Kerim. Like Nazar demesin, but he was supposedly, to be out, right? But like it's like nothing happened to him. He's just, strolling on. He's also not being subbed. I hope it stays this way.
The will of Allah.
It's the
Okay.
only reasonable explanation, bro. Like, it has to be. I don't know how he's done this. I think like everyone was like, oh my God, like he's out for a month or the rest of the
I have to see
season.
Khan Ayhan or whatever, and then
Yeah.
I can't
But
imagine
no.
that.
Allah said,
Everyone was
no,
like,
no.
season sold. Yeah.
He's Terminator, bro. I'm gonna start calling him Terminator from now on
Yeah, that was crazy.
because he plays like it.
Yeah, he's so aggressive,
Dude.
always forward. I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't have any more things to say. I think Oliveira and Mertens were pretty decent. Mertens wasn't at his best, but still decent enough. Moves the game around. But overall, I still think we played a pretty good game. Even when you draw, when you draw and you can still say my team played well, that should say something at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They played mostly in their half, which is also a good sign.
Yeah, look, their keeper had the highest score, bro. Or one of the highest scores.
One
Their
last
keeper's
thing that
our keeper anyway.
that is also true.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about that for a second? He's technically a Galatasaray player. He played a phenomenal game against us. He's a young kid. He stayed composed. What's his name? Batuan Shen or Batuan? Yeah, Batuan Shen. He's 24 years old. He's on loan from Galatasaray for the listeners who wasn't initiated. Just hats off to him. He played phenomenal. And it always happens to us anyway. It's either our ex-players or our loanees that have an amazing game
bro,
against us.
I was just going to say that our ex-players always show up against us, but when it comes to like Fener or Beşiktaş, they always like shit the bed.
Yeah. I guess they're just extra motivated to try to
They want to play on the...
Yeah, man, just trying to prove themselves and saying, next season I need a spot in the squad, so I understand that, but it's my God, bro, it's so frustrating seeing that sometimes, like,
Bro, go prove yourself against Fenerbahce or Beşiktaş. Don't prove yourself against us, bro. We've got a title to win.
Yeah.
But isn't it also weird that there's like not a clause for something like this? Because let's say...
Isn't this a thing in the Premier League side?
It's a thing in Real Madrid for sure.
Yes, it is. It's a thing with... I mean, I don't know about all leagues, of course, but in Premier League, yeah, they usually do that. Like, if a lone player has to face his own like club, they're not allowed to play usually. Because, like, if he plays well, which he actually does want to do, but he does damage to his own club, right? But if he plays bad, then it's kind of sketchy too. That's kind of corrupt. I mean, you have to actually play good. So there should be, because there's a conflict of interest in this case. I think those type of players shouldn't
like
actually
Caner
play.
Erkin giving away the most dumbest penalty to Fenerbahce. Man was literally acting like a bird in the box with his hands out and gave him a free pen like in the dying minutes.
And stuff like that, it should like... because even beforehand, right? Fatih Karagümrük was supposed to... Because, what's the other keeper's called again? The Italian dude? I forgot his name. With the mustache. And they say he's suspended. And Batuan Shen was supposedly injured. And you already heard the noises like... the main keeper took a
they're
yellow
selling.
on purpose. Exactly. And he's injured because he's going to face his own club. So you get that. But let's say, I mean, he did play and he had a shocking game. Then again, you would hear the same noises, right? It's like never-ending cycle in my books. I think he should just not be
Let the
available
birds
at all.
cry, man. Let them cry.
Fenerbahçe'ye bak çok değişik şeyler yapılıyor.
And the last thing I wanted to say before we move on to some listener questions is I'm really, really happy that all of our players who were one yellow card away from suspension didn't get carded. So players like Boey, Oliveira, Icardi, they're all fit basically to play against Beşiktaş. We're not going to miss any of them unless they get injured.
That's
or
our
whatever
championship game, by the way.
It
I
is,
think that will be
absolutely.
our championship game.
100% it is, bro.
Yep.
Do we talk about that before going into the listener questions?
Sure.
Yeah, we could, yeah.
Yeah, screw it. Let's do it. All right. So we're going to be playing away to Beşiktaş in our next game, guys. And I just want to reiterate, this game is so important for us, not only from a championship perspective, but for me personally, we've never won away there ever since they opened up their new stadium. And that's driving me insane. It's driving me insane. We broke almost every single record there is to break this season. That is the one record I think we need to break to like fully to put the hand down and say, this is my season and I deserve this.
Champions
Like
elect.
exactly. Dude, I don't know. Beşiktaş is in good form. Their attacking trio is very, very good. So that's the one place I'm concerned in. Their defense is not great. They give up a lot of positions. Even against Umrani, I watched the highlights for that game. They gave a lot of positions away. And Umrani, they don't have the quality to finish. Just to say.
Rania, like.
Yeah, they're like literally last place right now. But again, dude, this is Umrani and you're giving away this many positions. It's I'm pretty sure they're quite concerned with it as well. Their defense isn't the greatest right now, but they're confident because they know they play well at home and their offense is pretty good. I got to say, I remember I told you guys, Abu Bakar is a crazy striker. He's really good, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I was concerned about him. I don't know how you guys feel.
Yeah, no, like you mentioned, this is just a massive match, man. There's no other way to put it. Like, this is, if we can come away from this with 3 points, then we're at the finish line, man. Like, we're pretty much right there. And it's going to be tough, man. Obviously, we're away. That's never an easy game. And it's not like they're not playing for anything. They're playing for a lot as well, man. I think
second place.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're 8 points behind first, so I highly doubt they're gonna win the league. But they're in there, man. They're in the mix. Like they can take second place, and it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a really tough match. So if we can come away with that with 3 points, then like that just we pretty much solidify ourselves, I think, and let everyone know like. We're not fucking around here. Like this is serious.
I mean, look, how many derbies did you win this season? And if you take this derby as well, like Bizamet, bro, like you deserve the championship at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, bro, please.
Yeah, enough said, bro. Please.
We really, if we do win, just like you said, right? If we do win. It's pretty much written in the stars at this point. Like Emre mentioned in the beginning, we haven't won there since their new stadium opened, and I think that's like around 2015, 16, I think.
Back when Riekerink was the coach, Dutch brethren of yours.
Jan Older Riekerink, yes. We really gotta do it. It like you said, though, it doesn't help that Beşiktaş is in tremendous form. I can't remember the last time they actually lost a match. I think it's been a good 2 months, 3 months at least, probably. Or since Channel came, I don't think they just lost that many. They're really up for it. We're really up for it. Hopefully it's a good match and we'll come away with at least a draw. I just don't want to lose. That's the one thing I'm hoping.
Do you guys want to give? Sorry, I'll pass it off to Maz. But do you guys want to give predictions and then head into the listener questions?
Sure.
What do you think, Maz?
Predictions ahead of the derby against Beşiktaş. We're away, so I'm going to say 3-1 for us, obviously.
Oh goddamn!
Wow. Okay.
All
right.
I think Icardi scores 2. And I can sense Kerem scoring and assisting 1.
I can totally see that, man.
Kerem shows up big time in derbies.
He does.
Big time. Let's see. John?
I'm gonna go with a classic score of 2-1.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, totally classic. I think Icardi is just. I think he's like he knows he fucked up, and I think he's up to prove something now. So yeah, I'm gonna say 2-1 with Icardi scoring.
Another
both.
man who loves derbies.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
And you know what I think? I think I'm gonna pass it off to Sadi.
Again. It was to be expected. Last time you did surprise me. I wasn't there. Listened back, right? But this time, you're not gonna get me with that one.
You like my segues, right?
I do.
Bada bing, bada boom.
So far, we've turned up in pretty much all the big games. There's no reason for me to think that we won't get away with actually a win here as well. I'm gonna echo what John says. I think it will be a 2-1 victory. Not a 1-0. I think Beşiktaş, just like Emre said before, they have a tremendous attacking trio up front. Bit on the older side maybe, but still, they do their thing.
They can do their work.
Yeah, especially even after receiving like a red card or something away, they can do pretty much a lot of damage. Score like 4.
We saw how that went.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, still can't believe that happened, but okay.
So,
all right. We got our score
that's what
predictions.
I think, but also what I hope.
What you hope? Yeah, I mean, we all hope that we get away with a win, right? Everyone would want their team to win. But, yeah. With that said, I think we finally move on to the listener questions. We blue-balled our listeners enough. All right. So we have the first. This question is a little bit of a repetitive stance from what we already talked about, but let me ask it and we get on with it quickly. At Mice Aslan asks, apparently Gomis' apology has been accepted. Do you guys think this was the right move?
Yeah, we touched on that already. For me, couldn't give 2 shits about his apology, to be honest. I don't know, man. He showed to me what kind of professional he is, what kind of person he is. So I don't really give a shit about his apology anymore. And after this season, good luck in Saudi Arabia.
Yep. Go ahead if any of you have anything else to add.
Yeah, what I'll say is apology, I also don't care as much, to be honest. You have a contract. You have to just, play football. There's no reason for him to deny it. So, yeah, he's basically forced to play football. This is not me bringing certain topics of the past, back to the present, like slavery, etc. But no, you have to play. There's no two ways about it.
I swear to God.
I'm going to get canceled for this. Anyway.
You're taking notes from Summit, aren't you?
Maybe.
That's
yeah.
Oh my God. Maz, do you have anything else to add? I'm going to wrap this up.
I'm not going to add anything after what Sally said. No.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe he echoes what I says as he follows Chelsea, right? I mean,
What these low blows, bro? Focus on your own club. Focus on your own club. You guys are losing the title.
Yeah, true.
Man City's coming, bro. They're on your asses. Focus on. Don't worry about Chelsea. Just leave us to die in peace.
Oh my God.
Said, but from what I recall, you kind of said the same as me, right? In the beginning, you also said you have a contract. You just you had to be professional. Just write it out and then.
Yeah, look, I'm just gonna be the bigger guy here. Like Galatasaray, I was all like, dude, I'm all for giving people second chances to make up for it, and on a good note, because I don't want anyone like dude. Look at what he did in the beginning of the season. It'd be a shame for him to leave on the note he would have left if he didn't apologize. So let him try, and if
it was a meme at some point, right? It was a meme at some point, like how Fener usually get penalties. We always got the 80+ winner from him, just that one shot, one goal.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. And you don't know, you might need him again later in the remaining games.
Exactly.
So if the Hoja accepted his apology and told him come train, I'm gonna go with the Hoja at the end of the day.
Is that a shout out to you, Hojam Worthy? What you usually do in every episode, right?
Shout out to my Hojam. Bro.
All right.
Notice me, Hojam. I'm always looking out for you. Got your back. All right. Our next question is from @Bariello. Why did we buy Yusuf Demir and what does his future hold at GS?
Oh, that's right. He was on the bench.
Good question.
He was on the bench. Yeah, noticed.
Yusuf got screwed just I feel purely based on the foreign limit, man. Like what are we going to do with him? What are we going to do with Yusuf with this foreign limit? Like please tell me who is he ever replacing in the starting 11? I
still don't know what kind of player he's supposed to be. He doesn't seem like a winger, but at the same time, he doesn't look like a number 10 or like an attacking midfielder. I don't know. Like even if there was no foreign limit, how are you supposed to play him? I don't know why we even bought him, to be quite frank with you.
Man, this is such a good question, especially now that our Yusuf fanboy Yasin isn't here, or our Yusuf hater Samet, who just hates him because he's Karadeniz and whatever.
No, he hates him for what he did when he first came, because when we were trying to interview him, he's like, I speak Turkish. Why are you talking to me in English? When the guy asked him like 20 times in Turkish before that, how he feels and stuff, asking him questions. So it was kind of off-putting. And I get where Samet's coming from in that point.
Yeah. Yusuf Demir, yeah. Good question. What do we do with him? He just appeared on the bench, but first of all, I think you both are right in this, as in, what type of player is Yusuf anyway? Because he's not a winger like Milot.
Or a traditional winger, I would say.
Exactly. He's not an actual winger like Rashica. He's also not an inside forward type like Kerem. He's somewhere in the middle. I mean, not in the middle. He feels more like technically, he looks good, but besides that, I don't see much else. And we haven't seen much else from him.
I feel like the best kind of winger he can be is like what Pep has Bernardo Silva play in his games, right? Like, he's not like the winger you expect either, and he wasn't. He was a midfielder, if I recall. For some reason, Pep started playing him on the right wing, and it's been working.
Right wing back even. Yeah. But that's
right.
Pep.
Yeah,
Pep is crazy. He's a crazy chaos type coach. But
yeah, he screwed me so much in my fantasy league.
Yeah,
I will never forgive you.
He does it to everyone, bro. Don't worry. That's the Pep roulette.
For real.
But Yusuf.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think I think just in this current system, if any position would fit him, I think it would be the 10 role, I would say. I don't think he's a winger. It doesn't look like he has the pace for it. Again, from the few games that we've seen him.
Yeah, that's the issue. He's so slow, man.
But also, like John said, he's just, because he's young, you can't really trust him yet as much to be a pivotal player in these type of games. And another thing that he has against him is he's not a Turk. I mean, he is, but also isn't, because he's played 4 games for Austria. He can't classify or choose for the Turkish national team anymore. And he's screwed by that. Again, if the rumors are true, which we've communicated multiple times, that next season this foreigner rule will probably be gone. I expect him to be, a lot more present on the field. Again, he's still 19, right? So still has room to grow. But for now, he's just cannon fodder. He's just there. I don't expect
honestly,
him to even come onto the field.
I think his attitude is probably the limiting factor here, because look, even if there's a foreign limit, bro, if you're good, you'll play. You'll take that position.
True.
Yeah, and he's not taking anyone's position.
Yeah. Come on, like.
So like,
if
what happened?
If the Hoja needs to resort to Rashica at number 10 and not you, then there's something wrong with you, bro. That's my personal opinion.
True. Very true. You gotta own it, right? You gotta earn it, basically. Through training or whatever. Show something. And
look
if you don't,
again, we're going back to Kerem, bro. This kid hired a mental coach, apparently, to get his thoughts in order and just focus on getting better. Okay? If this kid can do it, so can you. Just because you play that Bartha doesn't mean you're owed anything, bro. Also, if you were that good, they would have kept you.
On Kerem. Yeah. Bro, he's taking every free kick. I know it's random, but right now he's like taking every set piece, basically, right? I don't know if you guys noticed that in game
pretty
2.
much from any range, free kick,
exactly.
every corner.
Normally you
everything.
see Oliveira, it's like, it doesn't matter what range, he'll take it now.
Yeah.
He owns it.
But he's very predictable. That's the only problem with Kerem. He always does the same kind of shot. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I've noticed that.
He lobs it, if that makes sense. There's not as much pace behind it, especially when he does it from far.
Yeah, it's like a
eventually
lofted ball
keepers
over
will
the
pick it
top.
Yeah, they'll pick it up, pick up on it, and they'll start adjusting eventually.
True.
All right.
I think that's it, right?
Moving. Yeah, no, there's one more question, but again, this one is something we touched upon, but I'll ask it anyway. At DZ26 asks, how did you like Zaniolo's performance at the 9? I guess I'll add something to that. Would you want to see him again?
Hated it and no.
Let me add, if there was literally no more strikers available, if Cardi was, let's say, injured or not available, same with Gomis, would you try it again, but in a different way?
Not really. I'd rather use Bardish, to be honest with you, because at least I've seen Bardish play there against Fenerbahce and he shredded them. So well, that is Fenerbahce. Let's lower the gears a little bit. Yeah, that's total facts. But
I
don't know. I don't
say about Abdul Karim.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. For me, Zaniolo is no, that's not his position.
I would want to see it. I just not in the way we play right now. I think he would suit more a counter-attacking type of football. So we sit back ourselves a bit more, soak the pressure in, and then launch him to run behind the lines. I mean, basically, it's kind of the same what Barış did, to be fair, with Fener too, but that's more the way I see him play.
Right.
And not like Icardi, because Icardi, like the thing we praise about him, right? He brings other players into the play as well. He creates for others too. I don't see Zaniolo doing that as much. He seems more, just more direct in that way.
If he was older and more composed, I would have been on the same page as well, yeah.
But again, maybe it just takes time. He's a recent transfer. The reason he left is because, he was not going to play as much at Roma anymore. Maybe it just takes time and he'll grow into that role. But for now, only in a certain way I would use him. Otherwise, rather, I guess Barış, like John said. We've seen that once at least. So, and it was good.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to add to that. I don't know if you guys do.
I guess that wraps it up, I guess.
Wraps it up, yeah.
Yep. All right. It's good talking with you lads. This was great. Great talk. And again, thank you everyone that tuned in and listened to us. This has been episode 53 of the Lions Den. Follow us at the Lions Den GS on Twitter and on Instagram. If you have listener questions, leave us any question you'd like to answer. And also, if you guys are interested, we have a Discord. Hit us up for your private invite and you'll be rewarded with the GOAT status when you join. And don't forget to like, subscribe. And yeah, take care everyone. Peace out.
Peace.
Bye.
Bak ben bunları konuşmak istemiyorum. Fakat burada olmayacak şeyler oluyor. Bak hoş değil. Bak yanlış. Burada bir tarih var. Bu tarihi burada yok ettiler. Tamam mı? Bu tarihi burada yok ettiler. Ben daha fazla hiçbir şey söylemeyeceğim.